Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a series where you guys submit your gaming-related questions or Battlefield 3 related questions, and then I give my humble opinion on them. If you would like to submit your own question, you can do so by sending me a YouTube message with the title line Q&A, and it could potentially be featured in an upcoming episode. So the first question for today is, do you think adding more bolt-action rifles for the future DLC are pointless? Because the only difference between the bolt-action rifles in the game right now is ammo count and damage, which is like an inch difference. So you're absolutely right. I'm not really sure how DICE is going to make these bolt-action rifles differ from the previous ones that already have. I mean, the SV98 and the L96 are almost identical. There is hardly any difference to them. Sure, if you switch between the two, you're going to have to compensate a little bit more for bullet drop, but let's be honest, after a couple of rounds, you're probably going to pick that up and you're not going to have any problems there. And, you know, when the new bolt-action rifle does come out, I think we already know that one is confirmed from one of the trailers. Really, how is it going to make gaming with the Recon class any different than using the SV98? It's really not going to change much at all. So I would like to see in the future DLCs that DICE goes more towards a different route and maybe adds a automatic rifle or an automatic weapon or semi-automatic, something along those lines to switch up the Recon's arsenal just a little bit to make it a little bit more enjoyable. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach it. If they just give us more bolt-action rifles, that's going to be very disappointing, and I'm sure a lot of people would just be like, well, what's the difference? Why are we getting this compared to what we already have? There needs to be something different here, and hopefully they will provide that. So the next question is, do you think they should have a different C4 animation, the one similar to Bad Company 2? I hate having to risk getting close to tanks and planting C4, plus it would give a good way to take out some of the campers who camp up in stairs, such as Operation Metro. I would love to hear your thoughts. So to be honest, I'm actually cool with where C4 is at right now. I remember in Bad Company 2, it was a lot of fun, granted, to use that jump trick to launch C4 across the map. You couldn't really do it across the map, but you could launch that thing a fair distance, have it land on a tank, and then really just instantly take it out. And there wasn't a lot of risk to that. While it took a lot of skill, I'm not really sure that's what DICE intended the C4 to be used as. I remember if you didn't use the jump trick, it would land at your feet essentially. It didn't really have a lot of distance. And so I think that's what DICE was trying to do in Battlefield 3. They wanted it to be a more risk-reward system so that if you go for a tank, you know, you're putting yourself at risk. You could die very easily. You're putting yourself out in the open, and the tank could just kind of swing his giant cannon at you and take you out. But if they don't notice you, you can quickly take them out, and I'm assuming that's the way that they intended the game to be, and not what they had in Battlefield Bad Company 2. Like I said, it was kind of an exploit, and I really don't think that's what they were intending. But I think it's okay right now. I think it is a nice system, and I really wouldn't change it, to be honest. The next question is, I want to know your thoughts on destruction. We were promised more in Battlefield 3 as compared to Battlefield Bad Company 2, and would you like more destruction in the new maps? How cool would it be if you could level an entire building and maybe even the ground to uncover secret tunnels? I think I've already mentioned this in some previous videos, but DICE has already confirmed that for at least the Close Quarter DLC, destruction is going to be absolutely off the charts. As you guys have probably tell on the trailer, like particles are just flying everywhere, and the reason behind that is that because of their engine and these maps are a lot smaller, they can really ramp up the destruction because the maps don't really need you to render a lot of detail. Because if you're on like Caspian Border or Operation Firestorm, those maps are gigantic, and if everything was destructible, it would really be a strain on the engine apparently, and a lot of computers, or I'm assuming like the Xbox 360 and PS3, would have a hard time rendering everything. But because the maps are so much smaller, the Frostbite 2 engine can really be pushed to its limits, and destruction is going to be just ridiculous. So yeah, for the Close Quarter DLC, destruction is going to be just awesome, but I'm assuming when we get the next one, Armored Kill, destruction is not going to be as large as it was in that one, because the maps are apparently going to be gigantic, and because they're so large, you know, they just won't be able to have the overhead to have as much destruction. At least that's what I'm thinking, and I'm assuming that's how it's going to work out. But with regards to your secret tunnel idea, I'm totally on board. I think that would add a nice little dynamic to some fights. Let's say there is someone in a room, you want to take them out, but they're really locking down that passageway where you have to get to, take them out. You know, if there's a secret passageway to the right, you're playing as the engineer class, blast through it, run, flank them, and then take them out. That would be awesome in my opinion. And of course, once the tunnels are all found out, or these passageways are all found out, they wouldn't be secret anymore, and everyone would know about them, and it would just basically be part of the map where everyone knows that that option is available. But once the DLC just comes out, of course it's going to be new, and it would just be awesome. Those moments would be so cool just to be like, oh, there's a secret passageway, where does it lead? Oh, I'm now behind an entire, squad, you take all of them out. I think that would be awesome. And it would just work with the Frostbite 2 engine, to be honest. You already have destruction, why not just have these passageways that all you have to do is blow up a wall and then you can follow it? It really does fit the Frostbite 2 engine and destruction in the Battlefield universe. I think it would be a great idea. The final question for today is, do you think that Recon should have some kind of scouter glasses as a gadget which increase the time spotted enemies remain on the minimap? Every class can spot enemies, so the special role of the Recon kind of got eroded. Of course, the MAV and the Tugs are powerful tools, but they are both stationary, and since the MAV does the same job like the Tugs, but better, the Tugs became kind of dispensable. Why not give the Recon a non-stationary tool which improves his spotting skills? So once again, I am impressed with how many great ideas you guys come up with, and this is no exception. I would love to have this gadget in the game, and I think it would be perfect for the Recon class. It's in the name. It's Recon, reconnaissance, and having this gadget would just be perfect. It fits it so well. And give me that option to use it over the MAV or the Tugs, or even the spawning beacon. If I had the option to use the MAV and these glasses at the same time, I could bring in so much information for my allies and make sure that the enemy is always, accounted for. We always know where they're at, and it would really solidify the role of the Recon class. And for players who want to have that Recon experience, I would love to have these glasses in game, and I completely approve of this idea. But that's it for today's questions, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did and you would like to support my channel, I would appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more videos. If you would like to submit your own question, you can do so by sending me a YouTube message with the title line Q&A, and like I said earlier, it could potentially be featured in an upcoming episode. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.